The distress signal had been broadcasting for 3 days when Captain Marcus Webb finally ordered his ship to respond. The CSS Endeavour wasn't a warship or a rescue vessel, just a human cargo hauler making its regular run through the outer territories. But in the vast emptiness between stars, you didn't ignore a call for help. What they found defied belief. The Yulani generation ship Eternal Hope hung crippled in space, its hull breached in a dozen places, life support failing, and over 1 million souls aboard dying slowly in the cold dark. The Yulani, proud, isolationist, and historically hostile to humanity, had refused all contact with other species for centuries. Yet here they were, their greatest achievement reduced to a dying metal tomb. "Sir," Lieutenant Rodriguez whispered, studying the scans. "That's Admiral Keshtar's flagship. The same one that blockaded the Sol system for 10 years. The same fleet that killed 30,000 human colonists at New Jakarta." Marcus nodded slowly. He remembered. Everyone remembered. The Yulani had made humanity's first steps into the galaxy a nightmare of blockades and territorial disputes that always seemed to end with dead humans. They had only stopped when bigger threats emerged, leaving humanity to lick its wounds and build in peace. "They're jamming all frequencies except the distress beacon," the communications officer reported. "They don't even know we're human yet." "How many survivors?" Marcus asked. "Sensors show roughly 800,000 still alive, but dropping fast. Maybe days left, probably less." The bridge fell silent. They all knew what the manual said. They all knew what any other species would do. The Yulani had made enemies of everyone they'd ever met. The galaxy would call this karma. Marcus stood. "Begin rescue operations. All hands to emergency stations. We're going to save as many as we can." "Sir?" Rodriguez's voice cracked. "These are the same people who are dying," Marcus interrupted. "Right now, they're not enemies. There are 1 million people watching their children suffocate in the dark. Deploy everything we have." What followed was 20 hours of controlled chaos. The human cargo ship wasn't equipped for a rescue of this magnitude, but human engineers had long ago learned to make do. They cannibalized their own life support to create temporary shelters. They converted cargo bays into emergency medical centers. They worked until their hands bled, slept in shifts measured in minutes, and pushed their equipment past every safety margin. When the Yulani finally realized their rescuers were human, the reaction was everything Marcus had expected. Shame, suspicion, and outright refusal from some quarters. Admiral Keshtar himself, the architect of humanity's early suffering, demanded to speak with Marcus. The Admiral was dying. The proud warrior who had once commanded fleets was now a broken figure struggling to breathe. "Why?" he gasped. "Why would you save us?" Marcus sat beside the medical bed, choosing his words carefully. "Because that's what makes us human. You showed us the worst the galaxy had to offer. We decided to be better. We killed your people. We blocked your expansion. We treated you like vermin." "Yes," Marcus agreed. "You did. Then why?" The question came out as a plea. "Because someone has to break the cycle," Marcus said. "Someone has to be the first to choose mercy over revenge. Otherwise, we all just keep hurting each other forever." The rescue took 5 days. 5 days of humans working themselves to exhaustion, sharing their food, their air, their medical supplies with their former tormentors. When word spread through human space, the response was immediate and overwhelming. Hospital ships diverted from their routes. Colony worlds emptied their emergency reserves. Earth itself mobilized its disaster response fleet. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as humanity poured resources into saving their oldest enemy. No conditions, no demands for reparations, no gloating. Just quiet, determined effort to save lives. "This is insane," the Vorthan ambassador messaged the Human Council. "The Yulani would never do this for you." "No," the human representative agreed. "They wouldn't. That's exactly why we have to." On the 7th day, as the last Yulani refugees were transferred to the massive human medical ship Hope's Dawn, Admiral Keshtar asked to address the human fleet. His words were broadcast across the galaxy. "I have spent my life believing that strength came from the ability to crush your enemies. The humans have shown me that true strength is the ability to lift up those who have fallen, even when they are the ones who pushed you down. I have learned that humans do not forgive because they are weak. They forgive because they are strong enough to bear the weight of others' sins without being crushed by them." He paused, struggling with words that had never come easily to a warrior. The Yulani owe humanity a debt that cannot be measured in resources or territory. It can only be paid in transformation. From this day forward, where humanity goes, the Yulani follow. Where humanity builds, we protect. Where humanity shows mercy, we ensure they never regret it. The impact was immediate and far-reaching. Within a year, the Yulani had become humanity's fiercest allies, using their military might to protect human colonies and trade routes. But more than that, they became evangelists for what they called the human way, the radical idea that kindness could be a form of strength. Other species took notice. The Mortiki, shamed by the Yulani transformation, began offering free medical services to human worlds. The Zarathi started sharing their advanced technology. The Krellians opened their legendary libraries to human scholars. It became a competition of sorts who could repay humanity's unexpected kindness with the most generosity. "You've changed the galaxy," the Galactic Council's speaker told Sarachin, Earth's ambassador. "One act of mercy has done what 1,000 wars couldn't accomplish." "We didn't change anything," Sarah replied. "We just reminded everyone that they had a choice. Hatred is easy. It's forgiveness that takes real courage." 10 years later, when the Devourers came, a threat from beyond the galaxy that consumed entire civilizations, humanity didn't stand alone. Every species they had helped, every former enemy they had forgiven, every life they had saved rallied to Earth's defense. The battle was fierce, the losses terrible, but the galaxy stood united in a way it never had before. As Admiral Keshtar led the combined fleet in the final assault, his last transmission became legend. "The humans taught us that mercy is not weakness but strength, that forgiveness is not surrender but victory. Today we repay that lesson. Today the galaxy stands as one because humanity dared to save their enemies." The Devourers were defeated, pushed back into the void from which they came. And in the aftermath, as species celebrated together for the first time in galactic history, everyone understood a fundamental truth: when humans repay a debt, they do it with kindness. When they receive kindness, they multiply it. And when the galaxy needed the most, the investment in mercy paid the greatest dividend of all: unity.